Why favor one specific hand? Seems like science would have solved this already. Simple, right? Nope, we're still puzzled. The truth is incredibly bizarre. Your dominant hand wasn't a choice. It was locked in before birth. About 10% of folks are lefties. This exact ratio held for 500,000 years. No society on Earth was ever predominantly left-handed. Weirdly, no other Earth creature, not even chimps, shows such heavy side bias. Docs can spot a baby's preference before they even leave the womb. Ultrasounds reveal which tiny fist moves straight to the baby's mouth. Once locked in, it rarely changes. Ancient bones prove that timeline. The favored arm grows noticeably beefier. Lifetime reps build thicker bone density. Unearthed prehistoric skeletons confirm this. Just 10% boast stronger left arms, mirroring today's exact global stats. Your brain hides a quirky mechanism, shoving most humans to the right. And it's an evolutionary relic. Deep inside a Croatian cave, scientists analyzed Neanderthal chompers. They died 130,000 years ago, sporting tiny, diagonal scratches. Across their front teeth, this caveman was prepping animal skins to craft some primitive fashion. They clamped the hide with their teeth, yanked it taut with one hand, and aggressively scraped, using a sharp stone in the other. Occasionally, the blade slipped, scarring their pearly whites. Those scratch angles totally exposed. The tool hand. Yep, the right one. Throughout entire human fossil history, the right hand reigns supreme. Even a 1 million-year-old Homo habilis specimen shows identical tooth wear. Pre-language, pre-agriculture, before our earliest cave doodles, hominids heavily favored their right. Ancient graffiti confirms this. Across Euro-Argentinian caves and Indonesian ruins, early Picassos pressed hands against rocks. Spitting pigment over them created stencils. Surprisingly, most stenciled hands are lefties. Why? The dominant hand, stable enough to operate the pigment tube, was the right. So this isn't modern weirdness. It runs profoundly deep. You didn't consciously choose your side. Your biology rigged the game. Even identical twins sharing 100% DNA often rock opposite dominant hands. Roughly 25% of twins split preferences completely. So, sheer genetics isn't the sole boss. It merely stacks the odds. 2 right-handed parents, you get a 10% lefty chance, perfectly matching the global average. 1 lefty parent bumps odds to 17%. 2 southpaw parents? That probability hits roughly 26%. We even see a micro-gender gap. Guys lean lefty slightly more often than gals. It's a consistent male skew by just a few points. Scientists remain somewhat baffled, honestly. The reigning theory denies a lone lefty master gene. Instead, tiny genetic quirks snowballed into one powerful tendency. Experts dub this the right shift. Check out the mechanics. Your brain operates crisscrossed. The left cranial hemisphere commands your body's right flank. The right hemisphere runs left. In Bipedal of righties, verbal skills reside strictly left. The literal half-running your writing also powers your talking. There's a specific brain patch nestled locally on the left, labeled BA-cis, igniting whenever you forge or use tools. Your brain's chatterbox sector doubles as the ultimate gadget handling zone. Motor skills, speech, and tool craft all awkwardly cram into one neural neighborhood. That cluster represents the right shift, evolutionary push. Inheriting this shift means speech and motor dominance. Permanently park in the left brain. Boom! You're officially a righty. Lacking this specific instruction, your brain basically wings it. Your body tosses a coin to choose. Being lefty isn't a gene. It's simply a missing go right mandate. A massive hint explains this right-wing bias. Over the left side, it likely predates tools altogether. Think primitive bipedal walking. Yup, kangaroos hop upright too. Science suggests they're Earth's only other major mammals, mimicking our intense species-level limb dominance like humans, except they flipped the script. Most kangaroos strictly favor left, so transitioning to two legs, unlocking our free hands, seemingly forces neural side-picking regardless of your biological species. If righty is humanity's default evolutionary path, why do lefties even exist? Why hasn't that 10% vanished? Baseball holds the bizarre answer. Tracking elite pro baseball hitters historically, nearly 50% crush it left-handed. A wild overrepresentation from Bipedal, MMA, and boxing echo this quirk. 2019 data confirmed lefty fighters boast drastically higher win rates against orthodox rivals, not through raw brute strength, but via pure tactical scarcity. Scarcity is a massive advantage.